Got a new Milwaukee light. Can you see?
It's bright.
Well, got a little snow. What's up, Toasty? What's today, 28th or something like that? On Christmas Eve, thanks to Greg, he sent me a car for sale, 98 Cobra, and it was a good price. Has no spark, so don't know why, but I've been looking for cars to flip, and this seemed like a good car. There it is, 98 Cobra. It's got new headlights, got some Cobra R reps, chrome ones. It's got exhaust. It's got a built transmission that I don't know tons about. I just know it was built by a company named ProMotion. It is laser red, however, I can tell it's been repainted because that's not the correct shade of laser red. But other than that, it's actually a pretty solid car. Like I said, there's no spark right now, so the guy that owned it didn't really know how to diagnose it. I'm guessing it's either coils, cam or crank sensor, so I ordered all that just to try it out and see what it is. So steering wheel's a little jacked up, not a big deal, but seats are in pretty good shape. You know, no huge rips. It's really worn out, obviously, but kind of high mileage, 190,000. Motor has been said to be gone through and rebuilt, but you know, when you're flipping a car, you can't really go off of what people say unless they give you paperwork. So yeah, bought this, gonna do a quick little flip and kind of go through the process of, you know, showing you guys how much things cost when you can find really good deals, and what to do, you know, to fix small little issues, and how to diagnose it, and see what we can make money on this thing. Paid $22.50 for this, $2,250. Checked underneath, everything looks good. Obviously everything in the engine bay looks good. They did have a spark plug pulled out, and he cranked it over. We cranked it over while we were there looking at it, and it sounded healthy. It sounded like it had full compression, so I wasn't worried about going all the way through it to try to figure out, you know, what was going on and diagnosing it there. I wanted to be able to bring it home and do it here and just fix it here. I hope that it's just something easy like the coils or the, you know, the cam or crank sensor, so we'll know real soon. You want me to throw this for you? You want me to throw this for you? Oh, don't fall. Don't fall. Go get it. So Carlton's in here finishing up a couple things before we get his car in here. Or excuse me, before we get my car in here, so. Nice and warm in here.
Not bad.
You know what you're doing?
No.
So you guys will see an update on this thing coming real soon. He's been doing a lot of work, a lot of wiring, so. All right, Cobra is in. Carlton's gonna run to see if there's any codes. Check that real quick.
Where do you want me to run to?
I'm gonna start pulling every spark plug to make sure they all look okay. Put them back in. We have coils to get replaced, cam sensor, and crank sensor. Let's try to figure out why this thing has no spark. All right, so I just checked this whole bank. Pulled all the spark plugs. They all look pretty well. Carlton's working on pulling this side. And while I'm waiting, I'm just gonna replace that coil, and the cam sensor that's right underneath there. We're gonna try that, make sure all those plugs look good. If that doesn't work, then we have a crank sensor to try and replace. Kind of a weird way of diagnosing everything, but just trying to check it out, see what we can find. All right, got the new coil on there and got the reservoir taken off for the power steering. And your cam sensor is unplugged currently, but it is right there. So it looks like there's a 10mm bolt right to the left of it. So we're gonna get that replaced while we're in here. See if this has anything to do with it. How'd that first plug look, buddy? Okay, as long as the tips are not blown off and it's not grenaded, then we're happy. Okay, we got a little jumper on there. Carlton checked all the plugs on this side. Everything looks good. I replaced that coil, cam sensor underneath. Checked all the plugs on that side. Everything looked good. Battery's dead. Left one spark plug out. Everything else is put back together minus the intake. Hopefully it's got enough power. Carlton can crank it. And what we want to hope to see is some spark coming out of that guy. Yeah. No spark. The only other thing I can replace that I have here is a crank sensor on the bottom of the motor. So we could do that real quick and see if that changes anything. Did you blind yourself?
Yeah. Make sure it was on.
So I was looking at the exhaust and came up here and saw this and was like, oh God, you know, duct tape on the harness. This is not good. And when I bought this car, a specific question was, did you guys check the crank sensor? Is the crank sensor good? He goes, oh yeah. What do you say? There was fuel at the top of the fuel rail, so we ruled out the crank sensor. Yeah. Came over here to take a look at the crank sensor.
Looks good.
Sir, there's one wire on your crank sensor. That's it right there. There's our culprit. You know, Carlton loves wiring.
I used blue zip ties and a clear one.
Does it bug you?
A lot.
So now we're gonna mess with this and somehow try to wire in a plug. You know what? They sell a...
Pigtail?
Yep. I know, I need to. Nice, quick, easy fix. I mean, realistically, let's just say that's the wire, which obviously it is. Let's say the crank sensor is good. I didn't need to buy anything except for a $20 plug to replace on the crank sensor. Am I gonna go through and replace all this stuff back to the old stuff?
No.
No, I'm not, because it's like 80 bucks.
Engine recently tuned up.
Tuned up, yeah. So this, crossing my fingers, we'll find out tomorrow, but this should be one of those easy flips. Knock on wood.
Knock on your wood. Knock on your splinter.
Get at the store.
Huh?
What did we get at the store?
A plug.
Where's that?
Hey. Hey, plug up.
Is this gonna do it or what?
I hope so.
Sweet.
We'll see if it works.
Got some electrical tape too. So a little more up close, you can see obviously. We think it got caught up in the AC compressor and just ripped it out, causing no spark. Cut this back, rewire in the new one, plug her in, do some burnouts.
In the snow.
In the snow. Carlton got that thing all rewired for me. Well, I did a couple other small things. This exhaust clamp was touching. This was rotated all the way over and touching the drive line. Of course, the drive line is going to go up once we go down, but got that out of the way. A couple other little things, but you guys are about to see this thing fire up. Nice, fresh connector. Gonna hook up our little battery jumper. Try to get this thing to have spark. What do you think out of 10? Yes or no, is it gonna work?
It'll work.
Dang, dude. 2 chains? One for the bitches, one for the hoes?
I don't have anything witty to say.
Okay, moment of truth. Got the intake all put back on. Obviously got the new crank sensor connector wired in. Got our battery jumped. And we're gonna wanna see some spark coming out of here. Oh, baby. Yeah. All right, let's get the spark plug back in and let's fire it up.
I didn't think it was gonna actually
I know.
start, dude.
Hey, it's got good compression, dude.
That's good.
Yeah. See, this is why you don't, you know, what do? We checked to make sure it had good compression by starting over when we went to buy it, but you never know what it can be. So when you come across these, you know, super cheap flips, yeah, the body's not in the best shape, you know, the paint's obviously shit, but I should still be able to sell this for like $6,000 at the very, you know, least. So that's a pretty good profit, but you don't come across these very often. However, it's a good one. got everything thrown back together. Carlton's gonna fire her up for me and we're gonna see if this works. Need another battery. All right, take 3. We got the jumper on the jumper battery, jumping the jumping battery. Take 69. Carlton, let me borrow his battery. Let's see it.
That's not good.
Bro,
That's not a good thing.
you telling me all of our batteries are dead?
It's freezing. I'm cold.
Look at it's all sideways again. You think it's right?
Oh my god, this guy. There you go.
Take 420.
420.
We got an extra charger now.
I didn't think it was gonna start right away.
Hey, $22 part, buddy. That's all it takes.
Very nice.
All right, so finished up the Cobra and I went on a vacation. We went on a family trip to see my parents over in Arizona. So I've been gone for a week. Carlton's been here working on stuff inside. We just got the Cobra off the lift and took it for a test drive. Runs and drives good. There is a misfire, definitely a misfire under load, and there's a little bit of a noise coming from this side. Got to figure out those two things. The paint is such shit on this thing that I really need to wash it up. What happened is they tried to buff it out. You can see the compound stuck in there still when them trying to buff it out, all the compound down there. And it's just, the paint's just too far gone. So I just need to wash it up and clean it up to be presentable, to be able to dry or sell. Need to clean the interior, you know, quick wipe down, vacuum out, get rid of those wires, the stereo wires, figure out where to put those, and check the spark plugs, make sure it's got the correct spark plugs in it to try to figure out why it's misfiring like that, because I don't think I'm going to be able to sell it like that. Quick rundown on price, put it on the screen if you want. Carlton, $22.50 for the car, $24 for the connector, $64 for the coils cam sensor that I replaced, $100 for the new steering wheel. So got a new steering wheel going on it, and whatever that total at, that's where we're at right now for price on this thing. Working on getting the steering wheel replaced right now. Just got the bolts out for the airbag. Gonna unplug that guy and get the steering wheel ripped off. Spark plug is out, and it is a AG, I know it's really hard to see, but it says AG-SF32FM. And I looked up, and the part number for the Motorcraft Platinum is supposed to be SF432s or something like that. So those are the incorrect spark plugs. That could be our misfire issue. So I need to run and get some new spark plugs, toss that in, see if that fixes that. That does not fix the ticking issue that we have. So that's next. Cleaned up the wires back there. Carlton helped me just pull those through and out. Got the new wheel on, so steering wheel looks good. Pretty happy with that. Time to wipe her all down and vacuum it out.
Did you make sure the horn works? Doesn't you have to be in?
No.
Oh. Did the horn work before?
I think so. Shit. Come to find out, they actually are the correct part number. I was just going off of what the part number, manufacturer part number said, not what the actual part number was. Sorry, there's a toast hair on the screen. So they are the correct part number. They should be gapped about 40, 040, and the first one was at 060. So not gapped correctly. We're gonna check gap in all of them and throw them all back together, take it out for test drive. We'll clean the interior, take it out for a test drive, and see if that fixes it. All right, got those all gapped to 040. They were upwards of 055, 060, not quite right. Hopefully that fixes the breakup issue, the misfire. Probably should fire it up real quick. A gray airbag lights. Okay, good. Went off. So it sounds about the same. You can definitely hear the ticking. It's definitely coming from this side. Just don't know exactly what it is. The thing is it's definitely not like rod knock or anything. It just sounds like it's coming from the head, and I don't know what it is. So that part kind of sucks because I wasn't expecting that. Just gonna have to try to get it figured out, so we'll see. New steering wheel's on, put a new shift knob on, wash the whole outside, wash the whole inside. Take a look. Kind of looks good when there's water on it. It doesn't look as bad. The paint on this car is so bad, you guys. You can see the previous paint in there. Over here, see the tape line? It's just really bad job painting this thing. And there's wax all over it that you can just wipe off. However, the inside turned out really good. Cleaned up really nice. See how nice it is? These door panels are probably some of the best door panels I've ever seen. But cleaned up super nice. Looks really good in here. Put a new shift knob on. Got the new steering wheel on. So everything looks good in here. Back's all nice and shined up. We're gonna take it for a test drive and go take some pictures of it. See if the gapping of the spark plugs helps the breakup issue. All right, so it's the next day. And I don't know where we left off with the Cobra, to be honest with you. Test drive went good yesterday. The misfire is gone, so that's cool. Everything else is fixed except for this little tick that I got. This thing does rip, it does really well. I do have somebody coming today to take a look at it. I'm gonna do a seafoam on the whole motor right now real quick. Try to see if that helps out a little bit, and then do an oil change on it later today. But I do have someone coming tonight to take a look at it. He knows about the noise. I told him about the noise, so they're not really worried about it at all. So hopefully we can flip this and get it out of here. As you can see, there's no more Cobra in here. Cobra sold. Shout out to you, Jeff. He knows a buddy that I know that knows a buddy, and he actually has seen some of our videos, so that's cool. Could you not, sir, while I'm trying to talk? Sold for $5,800. The noise kind of quieted down a little bit. It wasn't too bad. Full disclosure, they knew about everything. You know, it's either a lifter or maybe a bad cam lobe or something like that. It's definitely making a noise, and he knows all about it. I told him every single thing I knew about the car. He knows everything, so they were cool with it. Him and his dad are gonna try to fix it, and it's gonna be his daily driver, and at some point he wants to drift it, so that's kind of cool. So you can put up my profit. I give you the numbers of what we spent on it earlier, and then I sold it for $5,800. So that's what it is when you flip a car. Originally, you know, I was thinking about maybe keeping it as a daily driver, but decided not against that. I decided that the best thing was to do would be flip it. Quick 3-week flip and 2.5 week. Maybe do another one here soon. But in the meantime, I have the correct studs for Brutus, and so we're gonna be working on this. But I just realized that that's a completely separate video, so I just need to cut this.